I have been spending 17 years now discussing this issue publicly, and I'm shocked that we are still in this same problem today because it's so obvious what we're doing isn't working. I hate these drugs so much and the harmful effects that can come from them that even as a conservative judge in a conservative county, I want to change away from drug prohibition so that we can keep the drugs away from our kids, so that we can stop causing all of this harm. If somebody makes a mistake and gets hooked on heroin or some of these other drugs, methamphetamines, why should I suffer? Why should I have to put bars on my windows to protect myself from them? Let's bring them closer to medical professionals that can help them instead of rendering them automatic criminals and pushing them farther away, and then hold people accountable for their actions, not what they put into their bodies. The secret is these drugs don't have to be illegal in order to hold people accountable for their actions. Let me ask your viewers a question that I have puzzled with myself. Can they come up with even one positive thing as a result of prohibition of marijuana? And if they start saying, oh, it's to keep the drugs away from our children, they're wrong. It's easier for our young people to get marijuana than alcohol. If they're going to say, well, we're going to reduce violence, we're going to perpetuate the rule of law, they're wrong. It's doing the absolute opposite. 60% of all of the drug cartels' profits in Mexico come from the sale of marijuana, with all of the drug-related violence that goes down there. It isn't the drugs that are causing the harm, it's the drug money. And so if you're trying to keep away from this crime, bring these laws under the government's control, under the government's protection, undercut the illegal drug deals and get away from it. An assemblyman named Tom Ammiano from San Francisco has a bill pending in legislature right now, AB 390, that would treat marijuana like alcohol. What would happen if that were to occur? We could save, as taxpayers, literally $1 billion that now we spend of taxpayer money in a futile effort to eradicate marijuana, as well as to continue to prosecute and incarcerate nonviolent marijuana offenders. And by the way, you can tell how successful we are in its eradication because marijuana is the largest cash crop in the state of California today. The second thing is that we could tax it, bring in revenue of $1.3 billion in California alone every year. The medical marijuana issue is really amazing. We as the voters in 1996 passed Proposition 215 by 56% of the vote, and even still, so many years, decade later, our leaders in California still have not come up with a program to regulate this so that we know what's happening. I have never seen so many people so anxious to be regulated by the government as the dispensaries of medical marijuana. Does marijuana work? Well, there's no direct evidence by government study, and the federal government officials say this all the time. There's no study showing that marijuana is an effective medicine. And you know something? They're right. However, it's beyond hypocrisy for them because it's the federal government that controls the marijuana, and numbers of reputable groups, the Centers for Disease Control, the University of California, and others have requested to conduct the studies, and they've been deprived of that authorization.
So there's no research because the government hasn't allowed the research?
The government affirmatively does not allow this research to take place, and then they sanctimoniously say, well, there's no research that shows it. It's beyond hypocrisy. I view it as chutzpah.